Welcome back to the Buds in the Box podcast. Before we get started, make sure you guys go check out the giveaway details in the description below. The Leafs win 5-1 against the Vancouver Canucks, and I wouldn't even call this a win. It was more of an exhibition game. All these games, except for the first two against the Canucks, have basically been exhibition games. Guaranteed win, kind of. But the Canucks do score first, actually, after a ridiculous hand-eye chance by Matthews. The Leafs lose the faceoff, kind of Tavares and Dermott's fault, but that's going to happen sometimes. You're going to make mistakes. Leafs lose the faceoff, and Pearson just snipes it by Campbell. Nothing you can really do. The Leafs, though, even though they were defensively messy, they came back with their own offense, and that's the identity of this team. They came back, they fired back, put out Matthews and Marner's line next shift, and right off the faceoff, they break into the Canucks zone. Good play by Marner to get it deep to Foligno, back to Marner, and then right in front for Matthews. And even though it tipped off someone, it's a really good goal. Great zone entry. What do you guys think?
It was a nice goal. I think Foligno is definitely making a difference, coming in, getting 4 points in 4 games. His role, he's not supposed to get a point a game, right? But it's just a bonus, and he's playing really good defensively, penalty killing. He's doing what he has to do, and they're undefeated with him having 4 assists while he plays. So, does that mean that he's making a huge difference? Maybe. I don't think he's completely making the entire difference, that the only reason they're winning is because of him, but it's a part of it, right? So I mean, 4 undefeated games, right? Doesn't matter who they're playing. That's good. So
yeah, for sure. And then you touched on the Matthews goal. I'll touch on Pearson's goal. I didn't think that was great on Campbell's part, but as much as I know, me and Philly love Tavares. Eric's not a Leafs fan, so
Oh my God.
we touch on but as much as we love Tavares, I got to put that one on him. That's a lost faceoff. That's not like him to begin with, and then a little mishap with him and Dermott in front of the net posed a great screen for Campbell. And that just wasn't a great not a high percentage area, so that's where Campbell's got to have that. But you got to put that one on Tavares, and then they go right back and score. And he played great the rest of the game. So
Yeah, like Campbell, he had a few bad games, and he was bad at the start, and he'd be bad throughout the game. Now he lets in an early goal. He's amazing for the rest of the game, which is really the upside of Campbell. And then Foligno, he's so good at creating space for Matthews and Marner. It's similar to a Joe Thornton thing, where you put Joe Thornton on their line, he's going to obviously get a point per game. But Foligno's, I think he actually fits on that line. He's really, the biggest thing is he creates space. I see it every time. I love to see it. Going into the second period, though, I'm just warning you guys. I have a lot of stats for this game that I just made up myself. Well, not made up, but found out. So the first stat that I found, this was right before Matthews' second goal. So Matthews has goals in 28 out of 47 games, which means he scores in 60% of the games that he's played in. In Gretzky's best season in 81-82, when he had 92 goals in 80 games, Gretzky went 57 for 80, which is 70%. So I'm not comparing Matthews to Gretzky, but it's only a 10% difference. And Matthews
listen, if this was an 82 game season, Matthews is easily on pace for 60 at least.
Yep.
So if he hits 40, which he's 3 away now, that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's crazy. 40 goals and 50. He hasn't even played. He's not even going to play 56 because he missed a couple of games. 50 games, right?
Yeah, right now he's on pace for 43 goals in 52 games.
Those numbers aren't even fair. And Marner plays a huge role in that too. So, not to say he wouldn't have a lot of goals, but I don't think he'd have as many without Marner.
For sure.
Yeah, and I mean that my stat that I did there, it doesn't show total goals. It really mostly shows consistency. Because Wayne Gretzky had a few 5 or 6 goal games in there. So, but 4 minutes into the second period, Matthews gets another one. Great forecheck by Marner, blocks the pass in the corner, passes it out to Matthews in front, and I think Edler actually tipped it, which is a kind of payback for hitting Hyman.
Like the Simmons fight wasn't enough payback.
Yeah, the Simmons fight wasn't enough for Edler. He had to go and score on his own net. So, do you guys have any thoughts on that one?
No, it's nice play. It's good to see Matthews score. I mean, always love to see that, but it was just good plays all around. It kind of just shows Marner passed that to him, right?
Yep.
Marner can literally find Matthews anywhere on the ice. Like, it does not matter. Their connection is crazy. And for some reason, Babcock wouldn't put them together. That's not like, I remember when Matthews was kind of upset. There was one off season when Babcock went to Arizona because Matthews was like not happy or whatever. He wanted to play with Marner. He kept asking to play with Marner. They kept putting him with Nylander and Marner with Tavares, but now we see that, you know, their connection is unbelievable. So
I think the main reason about that was because Babcock was pushing so hard to sign Tavares, and the big incentive, the reason that Tavares signed with the Leafs was the opportunity to play with Marner. So
yeah, I don't think that was, you know, I feel like that wasn't a huge thing for him. I think
it was. That's what he said.
But he's not with them anymore.
I know, but now
so what's up there? So he's just upset now?
No, well, everything worked out in the end.
He's got Nylander on his line. Nylander's another unbelievable winger. So
exactly. So yeah, and I mean that the second period was pretty boring. After that, the Leafs just completely dominated in the third. Like, leading up to the third, the Canucks actually outshot them, but the Leafs were winning the whole time and dominating the game. Brooks scored 5 minutes in. Brooks is on fire. Like, it's unbelievable. He has like 5 points in 8 games on the fourth line and like 4 goals. So a goal every other game. That's just behind Matthews in goals per game. That's pretty crazy. A tip goal from Hall and Spezza. Great play, great forecheck. And like I said, Adam Brooks, he revived that line of Spezza, Thornton, and Brooks. So did you guys have anything to say about that before I just completely go stats overload?
Well, just about Brooks. Like I said last podcast, I think. I really like Brooks. Like, I want to see him play. It's just that the lineup gets kind of crowded when Hyman comes back, which is a good problem to have, like we also said last podcast, but it just sucks because he's playing so well and you have to take someone out. You can't really go 14 forwards. 13 forwards. You can't go 13 forwards. So you have to scratch someone when Hyman gets back. And who's it going to be? Most likely Brooks, right? So it sucks because he's hot. So
yeah,
that's got to be a really tough decision. And you don't want to ruin his progression that he's making right now, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, definitely some tough decisions.
It'll suck to see it if he gets scratched, but
yeah. Well, Barabanov scored tonight for the Sharks. I thought that was pretty funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, but it pissed me off. I was watching the Avs game, and the Avs announcer kept saying Barbanov. It was pissing me off.
Barbanov, yeah.
Now I guess we'll go into all the stats that I've written down. So we had that first Matthew compared to Gretzky stat. I thought that was just like a bit of a stretch and pretty funny. But lots of point streaks tonight. The streaks of Marner, Foligno, Spezza, and Thornton live on, and Tavares. I had to include him there because he had an 8-game point streak. He now has points in 10 of his last 11 games, which is unbelievable. Marner's on a 6-game point streak. Foligno's on a 4-game point streak. Spezza's on a 5-game point streak. And surprisingly, Thornton with that empty net goal is on a 5-game point streak. He must have been listening to our podcasts.
Matthews isn't?
No, Matthews actually went pointless a few games ago.
That's weird.
Yeah. I thought that was crazy too, but an interesting Matthews stat. He has 17 goals in his last 17 games. which is nuts.
Yeah, we gotta keep him going like that right into the playoffs. Just don't stop, keep going, because it was like that at the beginning of the season. First 20 games he had, or first 25 games he had like a ton of goals like that, and then he stopped for like 10 games, and
Because of
it
his
wasn't
injury.
right because of his injury. Let's just let's hope that he continues rolling here, just right through the playoffs, right? So
Yeah, for sure. And also, when we were talking on that note, I also have a stat for you guys. But on that note of when we were talking about when Matthews had what 7 goals in 12 games, and that's when we weren't doing great at that point. Like we were up and down kind of there, and Felly was like, "That's a great stat, but you can't have that stat that like it's not great because who else is scoring, right?" And now we're watching that fourth line come to life. We're watching Tavares do something again, like he's playing like himself, and and we're just seeing everyone step up, and I just think that's great. But a funny stat at the start of the game, Demko and Campbell. This was if Campbell won this game, that would have been his first career win against the Vancouver Canucks, and if Demko won, that would have been his first ever win in the Toronto Maple Leafs stadium or arena. So those are two big like weird stats, but for goalies, right? Like you always want to get that kind of out of the way so you can start your streak or whatever against that team. So I just thought that stuck out to me, but it's great to see that every Leaf is now a Leaf.
Yeah, well, I mean, another stat that I heard to piggyback off that one. The Vancouver Canucks haven't won in the Toronto Maple Leaf Stadium since 2011,
Wow.
and that
how
streak
is that
continues.
accurate?
That's what they said.
How is that accurate? The Leafs were so bad going through like
Yeah.
Yep.
20,
crazy.
like 14, 15,
I guess they
16.
were too.
Yeah. Well, to think they
What
made it to the
the-
Stanley Cup Finals
But
in
didn't they have the
2011.
Sedins and
Yeah.
Longo.
how is that even how is that possible?
We might need a fact check on that, but that's what the commentator said.
That's interesting. Who was
Yeah.
this? Chris Cuthbert. Can't trust that guy.
Yeah, and then the last stat before we get into wrapping things up here. The Leafs have scored in 18 straight periods. So you guys want to talk about consistency. There you have it. That is your consistency. You get that stat with Brooks' goal, and then 12 minutes in, Galchenyuk scores. Great play. I praise Galchenyuk for this because, Nylander shot that. When Nylander's on a breakaway, you expect him to score, but Galchenyuk followed up on that rebound and just put it into the empty net. Right place, right time. Tavares also gets an assist on that too.
That was a great pass.
Yeah, it was. And then 18 minutes left, just the empty net goal. Joe Thornton extends the streak, and Dermott and Riley get the assist on that one as Campbell moves to 15 wins, and the Leafs win 5 straight.
What's Campbell? 15-3?
15-2-1.
15-2. That's crazy.
Crazy.
So he's got to start the first game of the playoffs. He has to.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, all the Frederick Anderson updates are kind of in the air right now. We don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
He seems like on and off right now. So, I mean,
honestly, if Campbell can roll like this, then it doesn't really matter. But
that's true.
Yeah. All right. So if you guys don't have any final thoughts, no.
All good.
All right. So thank you guys for watching the Buds in the Box podcast on YouTube. If you are, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment your opinion. It would really mean a lot to us, and we'd love to chat in the comments. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure to hit that follow button, and we really appreciate it. This has been the Buds in the Box. Bye for now.